With coverage of the Great American Eclipse, this is Wave News.
You are looking live at a total solar eclipse happening as we're live here in Seymour, Indiana. This is the southeast corner of the sun now being chipped away as the moon is passing in front of for a celestial event of a lifetime. And it's not just Seymour that we're at. We're also located into French Lick, Indiana, where they are also seeing the same images right now where the sun is being chipped away. And look at that totality that's taking place into Mexico as we're covering you live from NASA as well.
And of course, we're live here in Seymour, Indiana. The path of totality on its way. That will happen here in Seymour in just over an hour's time. It will mark the first time, by the way, in 819 years that we've seen a total solar eclipse come right through Seymour.
You're exactly right. This is Kevin Harnett, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Harnett. I'm Brian Good. Welcome to the Great American Eclipse here on Wave News. We've got you covered all over the place, really, from Louisville across all of southern Indiana as we are tracking the beginnings of what will be one heck of a show coming up, Kevin.
Yeah, let us show you where we have you covered from. You can see Shannon Cogan is in French Lick, Indiana. We're, of course, here in Seymour. If you look in Seymour, you'll also find behind us near the food trucks and in the crowd, Brandon is here. We've got a number of folks from Cherokee or Iroquois Park to the Louisville Science Center and, of course, Scottsburg, Indiana.
Yeah, where, by the way, when we were coming in, that was probably one of the #1 exits on 65 was around Scottsburg and around Austin, Indiana. All right, let's get you a quick update on the weather. This is the crucial part. Absolutely. It is warm. I will say that here in Seymour. We'll get into that in a second. Let's show you the visible satellite. And you can see that we've got a few cumulus clouds that have been really focusing more into areas along the Ohio River and south. So Louisville dealing with clouds at times trying to pass on by, the small puffy ones, which can block the sun, so we need to watch that. But in Indiana, we got just some contrails overhead, but
our weather has improved from this morning where we had a veil of high thin cirrus. In many cases, that's burned off. So we may be in one of the better spots across the entire United States to see totality right here in southern and central Indiana.
You got it. Current temperatures outside running in the 70s. Kevin and I both looked at each other and like, you know, we really should have worn the shorts.
These blue
today.
jeans
that would have been a great idea. But temperatures are in the 70s right now into wave country, running generally into the mid 70s. Even a few upper 70s are showing up. 77 just the south of where we're at here into Seymour at the moment.
It feels all of that. Let's talk about the beginning and end times.
A crucial time setting because, again, the partial has already begun. So now it's about totality. And, again, it's only part of southern Indiana and central Indiana that we're talking about. Those totality times, again, roughly around 3:06 to 3:07, depending on where it's French Lick or into Seymour. That's when the main show will kick in, when the sun will be blocked.
And some people, and I've heard it a number of times today when I was getting gas early this morning, they're like, you know, it's 99.8% here in Louisville. That's good enough. But the fact is, if you can get in the path of totality, especially on a day like this, make the drive to totality.
Even just looking at the contrails, I mean, they're kind of zipping on by, but at the moment, there's nothing here into Jackson County that is blocking right now the sun. So we got one heck of a show here. The crowd has been amazing. A lot of people from Louisville.
Can't wait to really introduce you to a number of folks that are here. We've had a chance since 9 a.m. this morning to say hello to so many people. Shannon Cogan, if you were watching early this morning, was broadcasting from French Lick, Indiana. She's there for our special eclipse coverage today of the Great American Eclipse. Shannon, it's great to see you on this special day.
So good to see you, Kevin and Brian, and I am so excited. We're watching this partial solar eclipse right now, and it is just like that big cookie that someone's taking bites of. We are here at a great location at French Lick. They have 3 different viewing spots, but this is the Pete Dye course. This is actually the second highest point in Indiana, so what a fantastic place to watch, and I have a whole lot of friends here, including Kathy and Gary, who are here visiting from Pennsylvania, and you guys are also decided to make a big deal out of this because it's a special day for you.
The stars have crossed 45 years ago when we got married on this special day.
45, yeah.
Aww.
Yes.
And this is our anniversary. It's celebrated by the gods above. What do you think of that?
That's so perfect. So what are you expecting to see, Kathy? Because you have never seen one before.
A total solar eclipse? Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm so excited because this is a gorgeous place. It's almost extraterrestrial up here, and just really excited to see the darkness, to see how the birds react, and just like the dog over there, how he's going to react.
I know. I was thinking about that too when I saw that dog. All right. Well, thank you so much. Happy anniversary. And how fortunate that this matched up perfectly. It's so wonderful.
Pleasure's ours.
Thank you. So we expect this to last, the total solar eclipse here, the totality, for 3 minutes and 5 seconds. We are so excited here. We'll be reporting live throughout this special right now. I'm Shannon Kogan, live in French Lick. Back to you guys.
All right, Shannon, thank you. You know, when you think about seeing the total solar eclipse, we've had a chance to see the one in 2017. This will mark 2 in a lifetime for us. That's pretty spectacular.
It's pretty wild because, again, usually they're spaced out centuries apart from one another, but in this case, you get 2 within 7 years that are drivable within wave country, and this one, of course, right in our backyards here into wave country itself.
And I know a lot of people are asking, well, when is the next one?
Yeah, well... And that's a crucial one because it gets a little confusing because in 2044, parts of Montana will have a total solar eclipse. That's the next one in the United States. But as far as a drivable one, that will be August of 2045. And that'll be across the Deep South, similar to 2017 was, but south of Kentucky. But Louisville's going to have to wait until the year 2153. It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So
glad you calculated that. Yeah.
Right.
I tell you, you know, a lot of folks are excited about this. You see the folks behind us. We're going to visit with them. Brandon Spencer's out there with the folks. But let's go downtown Louisville, where a number of kids and families have probably decided to end their spring break by visiting the Science Center. Our Lena Noakes is there with a fine group of folks in Louisville. Hi, Lena.
So yeah, we're down in downtown Louisville where they're going to get a partial eclipse in a little bit now. But here we're actually not just observers of science, we're doers of science. These guys are building rockets. We've had a lot of little scientists running around, and I've built one of my own. So we're going to see if we can launch this. We're going to fill it with, I think it's water and Alka-Seltzers, and see if we can talk a little bit about the eclipse while we do a little science.
I'm going to hand this over to scientist Chris.
Oh, right on.
All right, there you go.
All right, guys, so he's going to launch our rocket. We've got one already prepared to go. And Jenny, I'm here with Jenny at the Kentucky Science Center. And Jenny, why is it so important to be able to, you know, do these applications of science while we're waiting for such a rare event?
Yeah, you know, anytime you can actually use like a application of science, test things out yourself, model them yourself, it's a really great learning opportunity. You know, it's one thing to learn out of a textbook. It's another thing to actually learn through process and like trying the things. And so, you know, whether it's today when we're celebrating the eclipse in that science or any other day here at the Science Center, we're going to have opportunities like this to really get involved and try things out.
Absolutely. You can see all of the excitement. That was my rocket that just launched. I think that was a pretty successful rocket launch. I'm excited to see what happens, what kind of reactions we get from kids who are going to be able to watch this partial eclipse. Obviously, not something they're going to get to see as a full eclipse, but hopefully, you know, something they're going to remember.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting. In fact, it started around 1:49 down here, so you can already start to see the moon taking a little chunk out of the sun. A lot of us went ahead and got out front, put our eclipse viewing glasses on, and we're trying to track that progress. So a lot of exciting stuff going on today here.
Awesome, and we're going to check that out in a little bit too. Brian, back to you.
All right, thank you, Elena. Appreciate that. The science experiments is what's getting a lot of attention. Everyone's having fun trying to figure out different ways to view this. We're going to be talking to the Stargazer coming up before long.
Yeah.
His setup here has been very popular.
Mark Stephen Williams from StargazerAstronomy.com is out here. We'll pull him over in a few minutes as well. I know a lot of folks, despite the fact that Louisville's only going to be at 99.8%?
99.2%. Yeah.
0.270, something like that, Mark. Thank you. But regardless, folks have still gathered to see the spectacular sights. Let's go to Iroquois Park from high atop the park. That's where we find our very own David Mattingly this afternoon. Hi, David.
Hey, Kevin, it was a perfect day until about 15 minutes ago. The weather team got the forecast perfectly. They timed it perfectly. Now the clouds are rolling in, and we're having a little bit of difficulty. The sun's completely obscured at some point as the clouds are rolling through, but we still have a great crowd of people here today. Everybody came out. Yeah, everybody came out to chill out here. It's not like at the Science Center where they have experiments to do or anything. People are just relaxing, having a good time, and watching that show up there. And with me right now is Betsy Rui, Metro Councilwoman in this district.
Right across the street.
You come to this park all the time.
Oh, yeah, I'm in here almost every day.
Now, what does it mean, though, to be able to come here and see something different like this, an eclipse?
For me, it's an opportunity for people to come up here and see how wonderful our park is, because this is one of the jewels we've got in Louisville.
A lot of people might be coming today that normally don't visit Iroquois Park. What do you hope they take away from them with this visit?
How wonderful a place this is. One of the things I've liked to do, because I'm in here so much, is a suspension of disbelief. Pretend you don't know and come up here and go through, and it's stunning. It really is a beautiful place to come.
Now, this is the North Overlook area right here. This is a great place for people to be sitting. Back in the day, you used to be able to drive your car up here and actually make a loop around.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's all pedestrian. It's very quiet. People come here to enjoy nature, and now they're looking up at the sky.
Yes, they are, and the view is getting bright again.
We have to pull out the glasses now and check and see what we got up there. Okay, we've got just a little bit of a crescent there. Looks a lot like Pac-Man.
Yeah, it's getting a bigger nibble out, isn't it?
Well, again, we're not going to have that total eclipse here, but we are totally having a lot of fun. So I'm going to toss it back to you, back to Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And regardless, total or not, just experiencing it where you are is the important part. Just taking that deep breath and realizing what is happening. I mean, it really is a special thing as we see the sun sort of just stare into the face, or the moon stare into the face of the sun and eclipse it totally away from the Earth.
Yeah, if someone's only experiencing this for the first time, it really just feels like you're getting a storm that's starting to approach. When you get to totality, though, that's when it really becomes emotional. 99.2% down into Louisville. Really want to get that full effect, but here into Seymour and French Lick, we certainly will.
We're going to be talking...
And Scottsburg.
Correct. Scottsburg's in it less than a minute, but you're in it nonetheless. And we'll be talking about what you're going to see as we go into totality. The Bailey's beads, the diamond effect, diamond ring effect. It's spectacular.
All right, as we're looking at that image, we're going to keep it up there in the corner. You can see it being chomped away like Pac-Man as we were hearing about here live into Seymour. Sean Bowdy is actually standing by just south of us in Scott County in Scottsburg at the Mid-America Science Park. Sean, what is the mood like there?
You know, it's really exciting because this is one of the places that you can get to easily from, just for example, Louisville. It's one of the first stops that you come north and you can actually see everything. You know, just a few minutes ago, we finally started to see everyone start to look up and use their glasses, of course, to look at what it actually looks like right now. And the city of Scottsburg is actually hosting this event. And my favorite part so far, these buttons I got. This one says, I got mooned in Scottsburg. And the other one says, I blacked out in Scottsburg. And then the date. I wasn't sure which one was the most appropriate, or I guess least appropriate, to wear on air. But I love them nonetheless. So many people coming from all over. I talked to a family that just came from Oldham County. And the people coming from a lot further as well. I've got a couple over here. I want to ask you guys, tell me where you guys are coming from and how you ended up in Scottsburg.
Western suburbs of Chicago. And we looked on the map and we were going to go to Seymour, and this looked much better, and it is.
And it's really not too bad here. There's a lot of room, and you guys seem to be really enjoying yourselves.
Wonderful. We're really surprised that we didn't run into more people in traffic coming from Elizabeth. Yeah.
So one of the things that I've seen the most here, a lot of the photographers that come here and want to showcase what they've got, I want you to tell me what you've got on here, because I know this is not the way you intended it to be.
Well, Amazon, for the first time in a lot of years, failed me. I ordered a regular sun filter for my camera, and the day it was supposed to be delivered, they told me they were out of stock after a month of waiting.
But you made it work.
Right. I got a cell phone cover and a little bit of electrical tape, and it's working just fine.
And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your eclipse here. No, it was safe travels. You guys are staying out near the casino?
Yes, tonight we'll stay.
Okay, good deal, guys.
Yesterday, yeah. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys talking to us, and have fun. Brian, Kevin, it's been a lot of fun out here, and I can't wait for that to fill completely.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. And they're right. Whether you're in Scottsburg or Seymour, the weather's so similar, and we have just a perfect sky overhead. Brian, you know, last week we were talking about this, and it was like, whoa, it's a race against time to get those clouds from Sunday night storm out of here, but not have too much time where we well up that ground moisture for these cumulus clouds. And so far, it's working out perfect.
Oh, it's like we have a dome of clear right over us. It's pretty wild to see this. So luck on our side finally after some wild weather as of late. We deserve this. I tell you what, let's talk about the times here, because again, we showed you this briefly, but I want to make sure that you guys again are capturing the times. Keep an eye on your clock as we get to the next hour, especially roughly right around the 3:07 p.m. time windows where we're looking at to get into totality here into Seymour. So we'll begin to enter that roughly about 3:06, close to 3:07 to about 3:09. You get down to about Scottsburg where Sean was, 3:07 to 3:08. So less than a minute. It's actually 53 seconds. That's it for totality down there. And then you get into Bedford, Indiana, about 3:04 to 3:08. So less than an hour, Kevin, for a lot of these times.
And of course, if you look at that map, it's along that center line, the midpoint of totality, that has the maximum time that you spend in totality. And a lot of folks always want to try to get to that line. Now, the thing about this eclipse this year is that it's going across 13 states, and there's an estimated 31.6 million people in the path of totality. That compares to about 12 million from 2017. You take another 150 million that live about 200 miles away. That's a lot of people converging on that path of totality.
Yeah, exactly. But what's been interesting, you just heard from the young lady there into Scottsburg, that the traffic really has not been as bad so far as what was anticipated. We'll see what happens at the end of the eclipse, but so far for everyone to get their destination with so many people, maybe it's because we have so many options. So
yeah, and we had no problems getting here.
Yeah.
Well, we're just getting started with our coverage. It's the Great American Eclipse right here on Wave. We look forward to bringing you all the sights and sounds from across southern Indiana and Louisville as you watch the partial eclipse of the sun begin.
This is live in Seymour, Indiana. You're watching the Great American Eclipse right here on Wave.
What do you call that thing? An ultralight?
All right, here we are live here. It's the time right now at about 11 minutes. After, actually, learn on that. What is that?
It's like 19.
2:19. Sorry, I can't. It's so bright out here right now. Come on, son, I need you to help me out. Get a little dimmer. But it's, yeah, we're less than an hour away from totality. You can see that's a live image right now of the sun over Kevin and myself, right over our heads at the moment. We can't look now because we don't have our glasses on, so that's important.
That's true. We're here at Freeman Field. This is in the heart of Seymour. This is an operating airfield, so this was developed back in World War II for training missions that they had. We just saw a helicopter land earlier. An ultralight just went behind us here. So watch the trucks.
Oh, no.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know if you can see the ultralight that's here. He's going to fly past us.
I'll tell you what, let's go to Brandon. Brandon Spencer's out here. He can probably get a better shot than we can of him. Brandon, this is kind of wild to see, huh?
Yeah. It really is. It's actually right behind me. You guys can see him. He's been flying over this whole area probably about the last 2 minutes or so. He has the attention of everybody. Everybody's eyes are going to be on the total eclipse at 3:06, but right now, they're on this guy in the sky. But the energy is high here right now. There's a lot of people having a great time. There's a couple birthdays actually happening today, including mine, but we're not going to talk much about that. We're going to keep walking around. Nick, if you want to follow me, we have people just here from different places. I've talked to somebody that traveled 150 miles from Glendale. I've heard from people from Cincinnati. I've heard from people from all over the place just to check out this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And, Nick, if you follow me over here, you can see the Seymour Noon Lions Club. And there they have a plaque that you'll be able to check out in our later shows and learn more about. But there's only one that's been made, carved by wood, by somebody that is in their organization. And they're having a raffle for 250 tickets only to be sold to get this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's a great time here for people just trying to enjoy, like I mentioned, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Nick, if you want to keep going down the line, you can just see the crowd of people just gathering, eating some food, drinking. You have carts, people riding on their own scooters. People are taking in whatever method they can to enjoy all of this. And a little bit later, I'm going to talk to a few people who are celebrating in whatever ways it might be. There's a couple celebrating an anniversary, a birthday, as I mentioned. We'll be able to bring it all to you right here in Seymour. But I'll send it back to you guys.
Right. Thank you.
Happy birthday to Brandon.
I was getting ready to say,
Yeah.
he's not alone celebrating birthdays out here. You know, we ran into a couple of little 3-year-olds earlier.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Brandon Spencer. Appreciate it.
Young lady here who's celebrating her 50th birthday today. You know, she's a princess of the Eclipse.
Right. Well, if she's the princess, you must be the prince or the king. Mark Stephen Williams, a stargazer, is here. We appreciate you joining us.
It's great to see you, Kevin. Brian, thank you very much. We are into partial now, and I want you to watch. We're now, about an hour away from totality. One of the things that I want you guys to watch, if you're out observing during totality, I want you to watch the shadow approaching. You guys talked about Bailey's beads. I've been looking right now right along the limb of the moon. You can actually see the mountain peaks and the craters on the big scope over there. You can see and that's where you'll get your Bailey's beads. Those little peaks and craters are where that sunlight will shine through, and then you'll get the diamond ring as it finally runs into shape. One of the things I'm going to do is watch as the shadow approaches. You'll see twilight over there, and then the shadow will move through. That shadow is probably moving at about 2,000 miles an hour, all that stuff. It'll cover up. You'll see it get dark on that side, and we want to be watching for during totality at about 11 o'clock above and left of the sun and the moon. You're going to see Jupiter, and comet Pons Brooks will be just to the right of Jupiter. Then down below, about 5 o'clock, below the sun and the moon, you'll see Venus, and then a much dimmer Saturn and Mars.
Wow.
Venus will be the brightest one. You'll see Jupiter and the comet. They call that the Devil's Comet. So that's the deal.
If you're mesmerized by Mark, by the way, he has always been that way. I remember listening to Mark on the George Norrie show all the time on the radio back in the day. And Mark, your setup here, you've got so many options for everyone. You can see even behind me, your scopes are set up for everyone to view it safely, especially those that don't have glasses right now. What are you expecting out of this that you did not witness in 2017?
One of the things I didn't see was the shadow bands, and we talked about this. We did a presentation here yesterday, and you may be able to see, if you're in the path of totality, you may be able to see some little bands of shadows tracking across the ground. The other thing,
snakes.
Yes, and that is actually, I believe, that's in the atmosphere. There's waves in the atmosphere like that. So you want to see that. I want to see if I can see the comet. Okay, I've got binoculars. Again, Jupiter, it'll be Venus, the brightest one. Jupiter will be a little dimmer. Mike, who was one of the astronomers, was here with me yesterday. He said he's from Seymour, but he was out on Saturday night looking, and he said he saw the comet with binoculars, but it was too dim naked eye. But it's high in the sky today, so that's one of the things you want to peek for.
All right. Well, we look forward to having more chats with you as the afternoon wears on. We are watching the partial eclipse underway. Brian, we're less than an hour from totality.
Let's get you out live. Again, there's the image right now here into Seymour. We're back with more coverage of the Great American Eclipse right here on Wave.
Standing in the shade.
You're watching the Great American Eclipse on Wave. We've got you covered starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we're rolling on through our evening newscast. Now, totality was at its greatest point, 4 minutes, 28 seconds. That was about 25 minutes or northwest of Torreon, Mexico. So a little bit of a distance from us. And while we won't be in it for 4 minutes and 28 seconds, we're in it for an appreciable, 3 minutes?
They are, and this is the image. Look how eerie that looks, right? Ooh, spooky stuff. And again, this is basically the Hopkinsville of what happened in 2017 is what is happening in Mexico. That's why there is no one max point in the United States. It's actually in Mexico with this particular eclipse. But you can see that they're actually getting out of the range here very soon before they get to that 100% totality that'll last a good over 4 minutes in that area.
Yeah, and that's Arkansas that we're looking at there. We have feeds from NASA, many of them coming in from NASA. We also have feeds from the 113 stations we have within our television group, Gray Media, and it doesn't matter if we're on a cloudy day or not, which we are not here in Seymour. We can bring you images from a number of locations, which is really fascinating to see millions of people being drawn to what this looks like.
Okay, we're going to take you now to Indianapolis, where so many people, I mean, Nightly News is going to be broadcasting there tonight with Lester Holt as well at the Indianapolis 500 Speedway itself. They're into Indy, just down the road from where Kevin and I are at right now. Take a look at what they're facing.
It's where speed, science, and the celestial event of a generation all align.
I mean, race cars and an Eclipse, like, does it get any better than that?
Nicole Rail is one of the lead scientists with NASA's Heliophysics division, and she'll be watching the Eclipse here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. She tells us why getting a better view during an eclipse of energy coming from the sun's outer atmosphere, the corona, is so important.
That energy sometimes can impact spacecraft that we have on orbit, things like GPS and navigation, which I don't know if you're like me, I rely on my GPS like to get around my neighborhood, otherwise I get lost, and if those systems go down because of activity going on in space, that's a big impact for us here on Earth.
At the Speedway Monday, we'll see scientists, spectators, and even Indy 500 winners like Alexander Rossi.
You have 50,000 people who are here for the same thing and are excited and interested in the same thing, and there's a build-up to the event.
Part of that build-up, a racing demonstration on the track. When that wraps.
But they're going to open the racetrack so you can watch it pretty much from anywhere, and we'll love it. I mean, not a lot of people get a chance to actually walk the track.
Purdue University's Dr. Barrett Caldwell, one of the event organizers, says this moment may inspire future scientists.
It is just a tremendously complete visceral experience.
At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I'm Mike Valerio.
All right, everyone gearing up just on the road there into Marion County as, again, they're going to be experiencing the same thing we are here, just about 30 seconds longer than what we'll have here into Jackson County. So that's where it seems like a lot of people have been venturing out so far for today. All right, we are, of course, keeping an eye on not only just Seymour. We've got Eclipse coverage right now that is showing up the live sun as we head into French Lick, Indiana. And now this is into NASA as well, Kevin. You can see NASA's kind of flipping around different cities, but they're all about the same level right now of totality, which is roughly now, I would say, about 40-something%.
And we're 36 minutes away from totality here in Seymour, Indiana. Lots of folks have gathered in many of these locations. I can tell you that where Shannon Cogan is in French Lick, they have a crowd, and here's what the crowd looks like where we're standing in beautiful Seymour, Indiana at Freeman Air Park. If you've made your way out, then we will be glad to say hello. It is a great day to be in Seymour or anywhere across southern Indiana for the Great American Eclipse.
We're back. Stay with us. Sorry. We are back. It is now 2:33. We're roughly about a little more than 30 minutes away as we get closer to totality. And this is a live image right now here into Seymour, Indiana. We're watching the eclipse take place, slowly unfolding, but it's moving at a steady pace. We can even see some of the details, Kevin, of sunspots that have been showing up. And that's the thing. The sun is very active right now, more active than what it was in 2017. Which promises to give us a very interesting show when we get to totality with the corona. We may be able to see actually some of the ejections of energy coming off the sun being blasted on the edge of the moon. That would be pretty wild to see.
That would be incredible if we could see that. You know, in 2017, you mentioned it was a solar minimum, and this happens to be a solar maximum. Well, let's do a little weather. Obviously, it hinges on being able to see it. We have a few high, thin clouds here in Seymour, but let's get to the maps. And let me just point out that compared to what our friendly folks in Kentucky are seeing, we are sitting high and pretty. We've got mainly clear sky overhead. The bulk of the cloud cover lined up along and south of the Ohio River. We had the rain earlier this morning, but you can see that path of totality outlined with the center trek being that red line. We have very few clouds overhead.
Yeah, but the only thing we've noticed in the past few moments, a few high, thin cirrus have increased, but all that's going to do is just create a hazy look. And really, I don't think it's going to change the image of what we see through our glasses or through our equipment here. So really, we are in great position because this is going to hold all the way through totality.
Yeah, it's warm. So if you're headed out, I know a lot of people are probably like, all right, we didn't think it was going to be this nice, let's go.
Yeah,
you still have time.
Yeah.
Come on. but make sure you dress appropriately. Our temperatures are running in the 70s and, in fact, upper 70s here at the airport in Seymour. So if you're headed out, I mean, shorts and T-shirts, perfect.
You can see it's cooler in Kentucky. That patchy yellow showing some 60s there, but again, well into the 80s here in Indiana. It feels like, Kevin, by the way, just in the past few moments, it feels like someone's taking the dimmer switch and just slowly sliding it down out here. We're noticing everything getting brighter with our monitors and our equipment. So anyway, I just want to point that out. It's kind of eerie feeling. It's hard to bring this to you guys through TV. We're trying to explain the situation, but again, pretty wild to see it.
We're almost halfway there, and we're just about 30 minutes or so, 31 minutes plus until we hit totality. You'll notice the beginning and end times of the totality, and we're going to pick that up at 3:06 here, and that'll take us until about 3:09 here in Seymour.
Yeah, temperature starting to drop, by the way. I don't know if Shannon Cogan is feeling the same thing or not, but we've noticed it here.
It's always hot where Shannon is. You know that. Woo!
I can't.
Temperature difference, and I'm so grateful for it because it was really hot out here. So you guys have been talking about seeing that 2017 total solar eclipse. I unfortunately didn't have an opportunity, so I'm so excited. It has been really neat looking up. And it does just look like that cookie that they were selling here, the Eclipse cookie. But I have someone here, Robert Rollman from Cincinnati, who saw that eclipse in 2017. He's a true adventurer. This guy does everything. He dives. But what is it about this that you said, I need to make reservations, and you did it about a year ago?
Oh, God, it's such an amazing experience when you get the full totality. You know, a 99.7 eclipse isn't any good. You know, you got to have the totality. And when that happens, corona forms around the moon and it's just a 360-degree sunset, gets cool, and it's just a life-changing event. It's something you'll always remember. You know, it's just so incredible. Wow. I've done some cool stuff, you know.
Yeah, and you went because a friend told you.
We went to the Sahara Desert and saw it.
And what did he say?
He said it was life-changing. You're not going to believe it, Bob. So, in 2013 or 14, I made reservations for Penny Rao Park, and 2017 saw it. And then this one, I made reservations over a year ago to come here to see it again. Brought my wife again, and brought my son, and my brother-in-law's 2 sisters, and this is their first time, you know.
Oh, well,
but my wife and I have seen it before. It's so exciting.
Yay!
You know?
Oh, well, thank you so much for talking with us. He's been coming to French Lick here since 1960. Yeah, that's so nice. Thank you. Enjoy it. So, life-changing experience. I've heard epic, just exhilarating. We're very excited here, guys.
All right, Shannon, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, we can certainly tell everyone's making all these plans. Today's the day. This is the moment. We're now down, what's the countdown? 29 minutes?
Yeah, 29:20.
29:20 till we get to totality, Kevin, and it continues to get dimmer and dimmer.
Yeah, you can really start telling it. In fact, I feel like it may be getting a little cooler
it is
already.
The wind's picking up in our back right now. So,
yeah, and we could experience like a 5-degree drop in the temperature.
We had 6 in Hopkinsville. It's potentially, you can get up to 10 sometimes of a drop here. We'll see what the actual numbers are when we get to it here in the next 30 minutes. But actually, it feels refreshing right now.
It really does. Yeah. We've got all ages just off to the side of us here. Little tyke here that can't be more than a few years old. And then you see some of the older folks here, too, all looking through the telescopes that we have set up. Let's go to Scottsburg, Indiana. Sean Bowdy has been keeping an eye on the crowds down that way. We had no problem getting here early this morning, Sean, and I know you've been situated for a while, but I guess you've found a lot of folks near you.
Yeah, you know, we got here. We left Wave probably around 8:30 this morning. Didn't have any issues getting up here. But now some of the people we've talked to that just got up here say it took hours to get here, even just from Louisville. And I'm not sure what excites me more right now, those Dippin' Dots over there, or the fact that you said the temperature is going to drop a few degrees, because this sun is starting to really beat down on my head, and I can't wait for it to just disappear. But I've talked to people from all over the place, including one woman who came all the way from Texas. Yeah, this is where she decided to spend her eclipse day. She was off today. She worked yesterday, and she has to go back to work tomorrow. But hey, it's the solar eclipse, and like she said, it only happens every so often. But it's not just that far away as well. You know, we get some people that come from pretty close as well. This is Delaney. First of all, Delaney, I want to show everybody your mask. Tell me, how did you make that?
So first we hold out, and then we put these 2 glasses in, and then you got it.
And you're not looking at the sun unless that's on your face, right?
Yeah.
All right, put it on. Let me show everybody what it looks like when it's got on. Okay, can you see the sun? Look up the sun. Do you see it? What's it look like right now?
It's It's almost done, I think.
Okay, and you guys were telling me, so you came from Carrollton, so not too terribly far a drive, but you came from Jeff, so that's even something. So it is interesting seeing how many people just came, even just a few minutes, to see something like this.
Yeah, I mean, it was about a 40-minute drive, but yeah, we wanted to see totality.
And for you coming from Carrollton, just to make that drive, why are you here today?
Because of them.
And they're excited, and their happiness is big for your happiness.
Yes, they do.
Which means I must come over here then and ask you that same question, because it sounds like this is for you. Anyway, just tell me what it's like coming out here, sharing this moment with your family.
Oh, it's great. Especially for the 5-year-old, for Delaney, she was really excited.
6 years old, she's yelling at you.
Sorry, she is 6. She just turned 6. But yeah, she was very excited. It's something to see, and she was probably just as excited.
This sounds good. I appreciate you guys taking a few minutes to talk to me here today, and enjoy the rest of the eclipse. Delaney, I hope you keep that on anytime you look at the sun, okay? All right. Stay safe. Guys, Brian and Kevin, back to you.
I love Delaney and paper plate setup on top of that. I love that. That's so cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, safety is the really rule of the day. We've got our Eclipse glasses here. We've been passing it out to the crowd. All of these folks are waiting to just get a peek at the big telescope. Say hello. Yes. Well, I'm curious to see. Maybe we'll get a little reaction. Israel's getting ready to take a view inside the telescope. I tell you, when you look through that scope, it really does bring it to life. First of all, you're going to see what you're looking at on the monitor here, and that is that the sun is getting eclipsed, but it's so much more finer detail.
Yeah, exactly. He's talking about those shadows that are showing up in the different little canyons and the craters in the moon. You can actually see that on that actual scope itself. Hey, can we grab you real quick? What was it like?
It was wonderful. It was beautiful. It's Mother Nature at its best. I love it.
Life-changing experience.
Life-changing experience.
Are you going to go to the next one in 20 years?
Well, I'll be 88 if I'm here. If Jesus wants me to be there, I will.
Kevin, that's the way I think we got to approach it, right? Exactly, yeah. And she is one of our fan favorites that's with Wave, and she's, of course, been traveling up here to talk about this experience and has a chance. She just looked at that scope and saw the craters and the valleys in the moon there. Pretty awesome.
Can't wait to see it as we get ever so close. We mentioned safety is the key. You've got to have the glasses on. You can only take them off when we're in totality, and you have to have them back on before we come out of totality. It speaks to eye safety. Myra Ansari had a chance to catch up with one of the doctors.
You may not believe me, but believe it from the people who wish they'd listened.
Very, very careful.
20 seconds probably. That's all it took. I'm glad I didn't go 40 seconds. It would have even been worse.
The warnings that you hear are right.
How does burning your retina cells sound? Terrible, right? Well, that's what can happen if you don't protect your eyes from the solar eclipse.
Every time we go to a eye doctor now for an exam, they look, after they dilate your eyes and look in there, the first thing they say is, you looked at a solar eclipse sometime in your life.
There was a spot right in the center of my right eye, my focus. It was just a blur.
Staring directly at the solar eclipse without the right eye protection for even a short time can permanently damage your retina, the layer of tissue in the back of your eye that converts light to electrical signals for the brain. Usually, we naturally avoid looking directly at the sun because it bothers our eyes. But during a partial solar eclipse, that natural aversion lessens because the sun is darkened. Dr. Mammoth Aaron Gunner from Norton Children's Eye Care says the same rules apply to adults and kids. He says a peak, even during a partial eclipse, can cause damage.
We have seen many patients in 2017 as well that ends up injuring their retina cells, which is a lot of the times permanent and causes central black spots in the center of your visual fields.
Eclipse eye-related injuries can show up hours or days after exposure.
So it depends on the extent of the injury. So you can burn them, injure them right away, but you can just hurt them, and it might take a while for the cells to die.
And that's why you need
these ISO-approved Eclipse glasses.
Dr. Gunner says do not use your regular sunglasses. View the eclipse the right way and take in the magic of the day. Myra Ansari, Wave News.
All right, Myra, thank you. Checking out the eclipse here. We're still under the partial eclipse. We're about 22 minutes until totality hits us, Brian.
Obviously, we're about 70% right now of the sun has been eclipsed right now with the moon passing. And again, why we get this is that the moon is actually 400 times more smaller than the sun, but the sun is 400 times away. So they end up being the same size. So when they overlap, that's how we get the great solar eclipse that has taken place. We're back with more coverage as we approach totality here in the next 20 minutes.
Welcome back to the Great American Eclipse. We have you covered here on Wave as we look around. It is getting ever so slowly dark, which we can tell both based on the visual perception and the temperature out here.
Yeah, it's interesting. There was a vibe. Everyone getting excited when it started. Now everyone's getting a little quiet. Everyone's trying to like, oh, this is getting eerie now, because you can definitely tell something is off.
Well, you know,
so it's got that vibe.
They have a band set up here. Fact is, they've said, when we're in totality, all is quiet, because even the birds oftentimes go quiet. So this will be the last total solar eclipse here in Seymour until the year 2153. So it's another 129 years.
We were talking about several folks who are here celebrating anniversaries and certainly birthdays. In fact, we tried to tell Brandon Spencer not to come to work today because it was his birthday. He decided, you know what, I'm going to go and work, and I want to see this eclipse. And Brandon, you're not the only one that apparently is celebrating a birthday here in Seymour, right?
Oh, I am not alone, guys. We actually, if you take a look right now, we got a bunch of kids wearing these Wave official total eclipse glasses, checking out the level and how close it is to totality right now. But we turn to me, actually, one of the little girls here, you can see her shirt. Go back down there, Nick. That right there is Gracie. Today is her birthday. She's turning 3. And if you turn this way, coloring on the ground, that is Petra. Today is also her birthday. She as well is turning 3. No, they're not sisters. They're just best friends. And we're going to talk to a few of the parents, but talking to me about why do you guys want to come here today to be a part of, for one, this once-in-a-lifetime event, but also celebrate these two sweeties' birthday?
Well, number one, we wanted to be here for your birthday.
Oh, of course.
Also his birthday. And after 2017, it was just such a powerful and moving experience. It just was really a time to be here with family and friends and the Seymour community.
Yeah, for sure. What has it been like just to be here today? I mean, you guys have your balloons already set up. There's so many people here for so many different reasons, but what has it been like for you guys just to be here, take everything in, sing happy birthday, enjoy some cake, and the eclipse?
I think this will be a birthday we'll all remember for a very, very long time. It's a once-in-a-lifetime occasion for all of us. Well, 2 or 3 times in a lifetime if we're lucky, but definitely for this one, it's the first in her lifetime, and it's very special. This one's second eclipse. She was here for the 2017 eclipse. Well, not here, but we have had a lovely time with our family and friends out here today. The drive up was great. The weather's been beautiful, and we are just so lucky to be here and to enjoy these happy, healthy children.
That's awesome. I see you guys, dressed for the occasion. You guys have Total Eclipse of My Heart written on your shirt. Tell me a little bit about that, the thought process.
Actually, this is Shop Local Kentucky. I'm going to do a little shout out for them. They're in Lexington, but I went to high school with one of the gentlemen who started this company, and these were on their website for purchase. So if y'all missed it, there might be an after eclipse sale, but they didn't come in tiny sizes for the little ones. So we got them for Serafina and Hazel, our other 2 daughters, and the man I'm married to will not wear a matching shirt, so he's just wearing black.
That's awesome. Well, I know you don't have to say anything. I know it's your birthday. I know you're a little shy, so that's perfectly okay. But like we mentioned, there's so many people out here for so many different reasons. I thought I was going to be the only birthday person out here, but we have so many other birthdays celebrating today. Couple 3-year-olds, a 20-year-olds. We're all having a great time, and we're so much closer to that total eclipse. We'll continue to bring you that coverage and what it's going to be like here in Seymour. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Brandon, thank you. And our birthday wish to you, we're going to blow out the biggest candle of them all here in about 15 minutes.
Something that you guys can't see right now, but a commercial jetliner just flew by way up high, probably a good 40,000 or so feet up, heading there off to the southeast. One of a few flights that are actually in the air right now, flying in the United States in the path of totality, which is pretty awesome. But it's not as high as a jetliner, but it's Iroquois Park, and it's one of the higher points in the entire city of Louisville, and that's where we find right now David Mattingly, who's there with the crowd there. How's it going in Louisville, David?
It's going great. We came up here knowing that we'd always have this great view of the city from up here, and people come up here all the time just for that. But now an even bigger show up in the sky today. You can see the crowd going up the hill. People have been gathering all throughout the park, not just in one particular place, but this outlook, a very busy place right now with people wearing their glasses, looking up at the sky, everyone enjoying the show as we've seen it so far. This mother and son came out here. You're from Shively. Why'd you come all the way over here to Iroquois?
Because I like Iroquois Park, and I come and I run and get some fresh air, so I just love Iroquois Park.
And now you get to watch an eclipse. How cool is that?
I know. We haven't seen it since 2017, so really happy.
Much bigger crowd this time, too.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I understand your son here, De Niro, wants to be a weatherman. So tell me about these clouds that keep coming through and obscuring our view of the sun.
So what I think is coming on through the sun and stuff is that it might be a little bit cloudy, so there might be a 50% chance it might be rain.
Well, let's hope we don't get any rain, but I'm going to listen to you, and if it rains, I'm going to make sure everybody knew you got it right. All right. They're not the only ones here. I mean, we've got hundreds of people here. Look at all these people smiling and laughing. How do you like the show so far?
It is wonderful. I'm thankful to be able to be here and experience it. Thank God to live to see it. It's great. It's great. And it's a good view.
That's
good
right.
view. Nice people to be with. And I met up with friends, somebody close to me.
Now, you've got some cool glasses. What does it look like right now?
It looks like a fingernail, a little fingernail.
It's not going to be a total eclipse, but it's looking pretty good right now, isn't it?
It is looking really good. And the temperature's changing. You can tell a little bit of a drop in temperature, too, as it closes
well,
in.
You've got a great seat right here. I mean, you can just sit there and watch it all afternoon long if you want to.
Yes, sir. I don't mind at all.
Let's keep those glasses on.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to send it back to you. Again, everyone just having a wonderful time out here. It doesn't have to be a total eclipse to have a totally good time here.
Well, you're right about that, David. You know, it really is all about just having a moment and realizing that where we live and on the planet Earth, we are in a much larger solar system, and it's kind of interesting to see how everyone really, I mean, some people get emotional.
They do, and we were looking at some of the cultures that react to when solar eclipses happen, and there's a lot of history written about this, especially when it comes to the Navajo Nation themselves. They do not eat, they do not drink, they do not even look at the eclipse. In fact, they're not allowed to. They're supposed to be looking away from it, and they just basically don't move until they start doing a chant that they take part in a ceremony during the totality, and then they resume after that.
Now, could you imagine long before mass media where we now know what's happening, but to see the sun get eclipsed during the daytime? I mean, the sun and the moon are sacred, especially the sun, to like the number of tribes. They call, in fact, it's called the grandfather.
Yeah, it's something you just, I mean, again, a few hundred centuries at a time spaced out, it is going to get the attention. It's hard to understand. Thank goodness we're in a time frame now where we do understand everything that's happening. All right, we are getting to the point now where there's dimness all around us here. We're about ready to get to the point, Kevin. We're going to get to a 360 sunrise. All around where we're standing, everywhere we look, will be sunrise, but dark in our exact spot. We've got that for you. It's our biggest stretch of our entire coverage, and we've got it for you in less than 3 minutes. Stay with us.
With coverage of the Great American Eclipse, this is Wave News.
It is 2:57 in the afternoon, April the 8th, 2024, and a total solar eclipse is happening right now into Wave Country and including right here into Seymour. Kevin, we're just minutes away now.
Yeah, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but it doesn't look or feel like it as the sun appears to go away as this total eclipse begins. We are just a few minutes away from that happening here in Seymour. It happens 1 minute earlier over in French Lick, Indiana, and that's where we find Shannon Cogan, who's been standing by throughout the weekend and early this morning on sunrise. You'll notice the crowds that have gathered here in Seymour. We've got the totality map up so you can see that timing of when we see totality begin and end. Typically a duration of about 3 minutes for us, both in Seymour and in French Lick. And when we began, the initial touch, that first contact, was about 1:46. typically most places spend from beginning to complete end at about 70 to 80 minutes.
Yeah, we should be out of this, by the way, completed about 4:22 in the afternoon. Now, Shannon, we're going to check in with you because you're reaching totality right now. We're about to see something very cool, which will be the Bailey's beads, where you're going to see the sun kind of flicker in the valleys and the canyons of the surface of the moon itself. And then right after that, you should see what looks like the diamond of a diamond ring show up. We're going to describe that to you as you're about to see it, but I just want to make sure you take in that moment too, because it's very cool to see, and you're going to see it about a minute before us.
All right, French Lick and check
perfect.
in.
Yes, so we're looking at. Hi there, guys. Yes, I've just been listening to you. I'm getting goosebumps. The temperature has really changed, and the sky is so different. They've turned off the music here. We have a camera aimed at the moon right now at this happening, so you can go ahead and take a look at that as I will look up. You know what is astonishing to me? That it's still pretty light out, but there's just a little teeny sliver of the sun still showing, but it's amazing. It just kind of shows you how powerful the sun is, that just with that little sliver showing that you can still see it. Now, you both have witnessed a total solar eclipse before. This is my first. So explain to me again the diamond effect you're talking about.
Yeah, well, the diamond effect will come just after the Bailey's beads, and that's where you look at that ring around the moon, and that's where you see those valleys that Brian pointed out. You're going to see what looks to be just some, how do you describe it, beads, if you will.
It just looks like a flickering effect. It only lasts just a few seconds as we approach that limit. I'm going to go ahead and ask, by the way, Michael, if we can go ahead and kill our lights here, if someone's able to. We're going to go and kill our lights here because we're about ready to enter totality here into Seymour very soon, and we want to make sure that everyone gets the full experience. You're going to see our images go completely dark, by the way. Shannon's will be first as the shadow is approaching her rapidly at the moment. And again, right after the Bailey's beads effect, Shannon, you're going to see that diamond ring where it's going to be at the very last moment when the sun has a last gasp. You're going to see a bright little stone that looks like it'll show up at the edge of a diamond ring, and then boom, you're in the total eclipse.
And then, Shannon, you're able to take your glasses off once we hit totality, and the corona of the sun, the atmosphere of the sun, that's the corona. It's much hotter than the surface of the sun, but you'll be able to see those gases, and if we're lucky enough, we may even see what we call a coronal mass injection come from that. That would be sort of an explosion.
The sun throwing up, basically, yeah, which would be pretty wild. So what are you noticing right now, Shannon?
Just mostly when I'm looking up with the glasses, I just see one teeny sliver. It is not even, I heard someone describe it as the tip of a nail. It doesn't look like that. It's just such a small sliver just on that, maybe a third of it. But I did talk to an eclipse, it's getting darker. I talked to an eclipse expert who said that he describes the aurora like a silvery wreath that is just beautiful, gorgeous threads. And he said it was the most magnificent thing he's ever seen. That is why he chases them all over the world. And he's going to be seeing his 9th today. I already saw it. He was in Waco, Texas. So this is just stunning. And my boys are here. I brought them. They were out of school today for this experience. And so it's just really neat to see this. And then, of course, my son Colt has Wink. So I'm curious how she might react to this. There's another dog over here who, by the way, is named Luna. So they said we had to come because her name is Luna. So, yes, it's getting much smaller here.
Right.
So we expect it to last. Yes, I know. The anticipation. You know, people were having a great time. They were putt-putt. They were playing cornhole. They were dancing there. Now everyone is just sitting quietly watching the sky, waiting for this moment that we have been talking about. And I'm just amazed that, you know, we said, okay, that it'll start here at 3:04. I mean, it's incredible that the timing is so accurate. It's
well,
remarkable.
And that's exact. I mean, it is down to the second in the astronomy, no doubt about that, and that's why we know when the next one comes. You know, we're in an angular pattern, so it's not exactly circular. Brian, we're probably just seconds away from starting to see those Bailey's beads that we should see around the extreme edge of the moon.
Yeah, again, French Lick just a hair ahead of schedule of what we're at here into Seymour, but she is where Shannon is right there. That's the image that she has is in the top left box. That is the image right now into French Lick, and you can see that the last little slither there is starting to fade out into right there into
there we go.
French Lick in Orange County, and as soon as it passes by there, Shannon, as soon as it closes off, you get the entire corona
moments away.
Outline.
I'm gonna just let you guys take this in, so
and
you
it really
can
is just a moment to take it in.
Breathe it in. Just a little bit left.
It is so eerie out here.
Any moment, the Bailey speeds.
Oh, wow.
There you have it.
Woo!
And you should be able to see it. Now, they may not show very well in the lens.
There'll be a
the
pop.
camera, but...
There it is! Oh, my gosh!
All right, French Lick.
Wow. That is amazing. And then the sunset all the way around. Incredible. Wow.
Well, and that's the...
And you can really see it on Shannon's image there. You see the sun on the horizon all the way around Shannon. That's what's so wild. We're used to sunsets only being in the east, but it's everywhere.
In the main picture, we'd have to remove, and it's safe now to remove the filter from the camera. You'd have to put it back on as we come back out of totality, but we've got 3 minutes where we can see this.
Let's head to Seymour, because it's our turn now.
And here we are at Seymour. We're looking up, and we can see we've got that very thin sliver. And we're just now moments away ourselves. You can hear the crowd in anticipation.
All right. Yeah, we see just a small little section. I guess you guys can see what we're seeing. Okay, there's the diamond ring effect right there into French Lick. You see it looks like a diamond ring, and they're wet.
Beautiful. And here we come in French Lick.
Go to,
from there to Seymour.
Yeah, let's go to Seymour. As you're, there's a diamond ring. Sorry, I want to make sure to reference that. Okay. All right. Here we are. We are at it.
And there we have the Bailey speeds.
All right, there's French Lick on the screen, by the way. Look at that in French Lick. Wow. All right, this is Seymour. We're at it now. This is the diamond ring effect, and there we go. We are in it. Listen to the crowd.
And we have just hit totality here in Seymour, Indiana. We'll be at it for 3 minutes plus. It's a 360-degree sunset as it appears. Beautiful. The atmosphere is cool. Look at the planets that we have, Brian.
I know. I'm trying to take a picture again.
And I'm still hearing Shannon. Shannon, feel free to jump in and tell me what the mood is there. What do you think? Your first solar eclipse?
It just looks like everyone here. I'm watching this. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
I see Venus, by the way. It's not within range, but we can see Venus. Yeah, we hear you, Shannon. Sorry. We're looking for the comet, by the way.
That's
You may see it.
I'm watching the reaction, and it is incredible. Of course, everyone is taking pictures, but I saw you guys were, I'm talking to these this family over here. What did you guys think? You were jumping up and down.
It's so great. Oh my gosh, I'm like amazed. And I'm on TV now. Yay!
Is it beautiful?
Yeah.
It really is. What do you guys think?
The most unbelievable sight I've seen in my life. This is amazing. And my first, and it's great to share with my family. It's unbelievable. I cannot tell you how great that is. Thank you so much. Oh my God.
Thank you. That's just one family's reaction to this. It really is interesting. How is Luna the dog doing?
The dog is doing great. She's done great.
Yes. It's beautiful. And my boys over here don't want to be on TV, but I'm going to ask
what do you
what
think?
their reaction is. Oh, me? I'm blown away. And now the light, now the sun is starting to appear again, and the sky is already getting lighter. So that happened so fast. I want more of it.
Okay.
I want it to last longer.
You gotta travel, get in the car and hurry up and go east, Shannon. Hurry up, get in that traffic. Let me show you the image here.
I
We
know,
do a
right?
tube box where you can see Kevin and myself here and the crowd and the eclipse in the other box. I want you guys to, hopefully, you can't do it. Okay. We wanted to show you the 360 sunrise that's all around us here at the moment. We can see Jupiter. Again, you can't see in that frame, but we can see Jupiter. We do see Venus that's up there. I do not see the comet, but there was a chance we could see it, but it was questionable. There are two 3 jetliners right now that are in the sky. It looks like flying overhead there.
You know, when we look at the corona, that's the outer part. That is the atmosphere of the sun. You can see as you look at it, and we're looking at it without glasses on right now, so you can see sort of the waviness of it.
You do. You see a little bit of brightness on the edges there. It's maybe hard to tell if you look carefully, especially in the bottom of it. Right there. See the ejections. You can see them.
Yes.
Right there in the corona. The bottom left of the actual eclipse, that's where you can see at the moment. As we're about to get back to the diamond ring.
Coming back out.
Glasses back on. Glasses back on. We're now in the diamond ring effect. And return the lights back up, literally.
And it doesn't take long for it to just brighten right back up. Yeah. It is wild, and you can hear the applause. It was super quiet during the totality, but now we're coming back out. The diamond ring effect happens again. There's the chance to see the Bailey's beads again. We were able to see sort of the corona and what appeared to be like the gases in that atmosphere of the sun.
And pardon us, we got to get the filters back onto the camera that protects our equipment. So it takes a bit of time there to kind of switch out from totality to getting back to the diamond ring, which is likely happening right now based on the brightness overhead. Looks like a thunderstorm all around this. It's wild.
And I don't know how much the temperature dropped. We said it might drop 5 degrees. It felt like it dropped like 20. I mean, it's kind of went from hot to cool.
You could wear a jacket right now and be comfortable. Earlier, you would basically want to be in a tank top and shorts. It was that warm. So a dramatic, but you could just tell by looking at our image, it literally looks like they're just adjusting the brightness on the monitor on the camera right now, but that's literally just how it's coming back into frame. Kevin, we did it.
That's
twice.
That's two we've seen right here. Boom.
2, sir. 2 in 7 years. We got to wait 21 to do it again.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll hit that one or not. We've got Sean Bowdy with a large group of folks down in Scottsburg. It's just a few miles south of where we are. Sean, the mood, the reaction there. How was it, buddy?
Yeah, it was really cool. You know, I was lucky enough to be in totality for the 2017 one. Obviously, it was incredible, but every time you see it, it just seems even more incredible. I wanted to share this moment that this family just shared. First of all, tell me where you guys are coming from and what brought you to Scottsburg.
We live in Louisville, near University of Louisville. This is my son, Sam, and we drove up from Louisville to really see the full totality of the eclipse, and it literally, I don't even have the words. It's like nothing I've ever experienced. What about you, Sam?
It got so dark.
And I know you've got another boy over there that's maybe a little camera shy, but just tell me what this is like, sharing this moment with them. I could see the reaction because I was standing next to you guys when it happened, and to see the enjoyment in your face, sharing this moment, just what was that like?
As I said, it's really, I'm still trying to process it. It's indescribable. I mean, it's obviously maybe once in a lifetime experience, and to be able to share it with my family, it's just beyond all words. I'm very blessed.
Same question for you, doing this with my family, with Dad?
It was amazing just to share them with everybody.
And there was a lot of people here, too.
Yeah. Lots of people. We came to the right place. We were going to go farther, and we pulled off at Scottsburg. We're glad we did. Thanks, Scottsburg.
And there's a lot of people leaving now. I know they're wrapping people up quickly here. Are you excited to get on the road?
Well, we're not looking forward to the traffic, but yeah, we're going to take our time and head home.
Worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope everybody stays safe getting home.
Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us here, and you drive safely back to Louisville and take in the moment as much as you can here, too, because who knows what that drive's going to look like on the way back home. Scottsburg has been extremely hospitable to us and extremely hospitable to everyone that's been visiting here, and it was an incredible moment watching that happen in the sky right above our heads. Hey, reporting live in Scottsburg, Sean Bowdy, Wave News.
All right. Sean, thank you so much. We're going to bring in the stargazer here. He had his eyes to the sky the entire time. Mark Stephen Williams been out here entertaining the crowd with all the telescopes. How was this one?
Buddy, I just had a total eclipse of the heart. I can't see anything. You know, no, absolutely awesome. This one being, it seemed a lot longer than 2017 did.
Oh yeah. Well, the moon's a little closer this time.
Well, actually, we were talking about this, and the duration in 2017. The moon was about 27,000 miles distant. Okay, this time, because it's near perigee right now, so it's closer, so it was almost 5,000 miles closer. So we got the 3 minutes and so on and so on. So absolutely awesome. The crowd is going nuts. We saw Bailey's beads. Yep. We saw the diamond ring. How did you guys do?
I thought it was amazing. The temperature drop seemed more dramatic this time around.
It was like pre-dawn. It absolutely. I was surprised early on how much the temperature dropped. It seemed to do that. Or do that
get about 70 to 80%, and then suddenly you really started to feel it.
Were you guys measuring the actual temperature drop? Do you know what it was?
We have it on the storm tracker, but I haven't seen the output of it yet.
I'd be really curious to see what that was, because it's cool now. It feels like early morning again, but that's, So it's amazing. We've been thinking about this for so long that now it's actually happened. We shot video. We've got the shadow coming along.
Did you see the shadows?
No, I didn't see those.
Okay.
But I did watch, as the clouds got dark over here to the west, and then as it moved out to the east, got a few decent pictures, I think. I don't know, but we'll find out about that. But it doesn't matter, because we were all here.
You witnessed it.
We were all here doing this.
Well, Mark, let me ask, when I said, did you get the shadows, let's talk about the features of a total eclipse. The shadow bands typically, look like snakes running on the ground. We didn't see that this time.
Were you looking for, I was so busy
looking up,
shooting and everything, so we didn't see those. I think that's a lot to do with the atmosphere. Isn't that how that happens? That's my understanding.
It would make sense, but you may see it when you play things back later, because we were all over the place looking around.
Let me play those back right now. No, I don't know.
Let's talk about Bailey's beads and what causes that. We saw that.
Okay, that is, if you look at the limb of the sun, that's the edges around. If you look at that, you'll see mountain peaks and craters, and right now, if we look at the scope, you can, along the limb, you can see those peaks and valleys. So as the moon slides into position there, that is just the little bits of sunlight peeking through those peaks and valleys. And then you get to the diamond ring, which is the last one of those before, and then the first one, the last one of those before, and then the first one coming out is that deal. And I thought, I have a solar filter on the camera. I thought I saw a solar prominence coming out at about 6 o'clock south side, about 6:30.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So because we talked about this, sun goes through a 11-year cycle. We're right now near the peak. It was at the bottom during 2017, and so there was a question. Are we going to see any coronal mass ejections? The corona looked a lot bigger this time than it did in 17.
And it was cool, very much on the bottom edge there of seeing that shine through there.
Mark, thank you.
Yeah, Mark. Seriously, it's been a pleasure. We're going to talk to you hopefully again before we're done here today. But
we're here all day.
But we can talk to you forever, because you are just so full of knowledge, and we appreciate it.
The best part of this, Brian, is that we all got to see each other, and we shared this experience together. We'll never forget. I have friends telling me I cried.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely wonderful. Kevin, it's just the whole crew here. It's just wonderful to see you guys.
Thank you. We weren't alone in witnessing it. A lot of folks here in Seymour. Let's go to Brandon Spencer, who's been with a number of those folks. What'd you think, birthday boy?
Well, first off, guys, I want to say I still have chills with how everything went. As soon as it was total eclipse, I just felt my body just go cool and just have shivers. And I was talking to Brian over here, and he was telling me that he and his daughter Keely felt like they were lost for a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what you experienced when you had the totality.
Oh, it was something like you never experienced before in your life. It just, for 1 minute, it's like 80 degrees, and the next minute, it's like 40 degrees. And I was looking for a jacket, coat, something. Oh, it was awesome. I never experienced nothing like that in my life. It was cool.
Hey, Keely, what was it like for you when you looked up and you could just see nothing but the moon, the sun, and just rays coming out?
What, did you like it?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was it one of the coolest things you've seen?
Yeah.
What was it like to be able to experience this here with your daughter today?
Oh, it's just priceless. I don't have the words to say what it was like. You just have to be here to see it, to experience it.
For sure. It's nothing like it. The sun continues to come out. It continues to get warmer. And we also have Dina, who said that she couldn't believe what she saw when it was a total eclipse. Tell me a little bit about what you were feeling when totality happened.
It got cold. I'm freezing. It was just fascinating. I'm not going to tell you my age, but there won't be another one for 20 years. So I wasn't even going to come. And then I jumped in my car after she called me and said, come. And I was like fearful of all the traffic, but it was great. Seymour's been wonderful. It's great.
For one, where did you come from? And then two, Louisville. Okay, so was it worth the drive to come up here?
Yes, absolutely. And I'll be too old the next time it happens. So, but yes, it was definitely worth the drive.
What would you equate this and some of the life experiences that you've had?
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. Equating it to like other things.
Ranks, about some of the things that you've seen or experienced.
If it was 1 to 10, it'd be a 10.
Really?
To be a 10, yes. And I mean, I've seen a lot of strange things in my life, but this was the best.
That's awesome.
So.
Well, guys, you've heard it here first. I mean, people here cannot even describe what they're seeing and what they felt when totality happened, and it's just one of those moments that you have to be here to experience. And Kevin and Brian, back to you guys.
You know, she said everything that we're thinking. So props to her, and let her know, Brandon, too, that it's chilly, but it's about to be back in the upper 70s here in a matter of minutes. So it's going to warm up quickly again. So
you know, we're working our way to the end of now the partial eclipse, and that'll happen just after 4 o'clock today. As Brian mentioned, things will warm back up. Traffic will be increasing. We've got you covered through the afternoon on the reaction of the Great American Eclipse and the ride back home. You don't want to miss it. We've got more of our eclipse coverage right here on Wave when we come back.
All right, we are back as we are continuing our coverage here for the Great American Eclipse live here into Seymour, Indiana. Kevin, I tried to use my phone as quick as I could to try to get some images while we're talking. I didn't do a great job, but you were some people that got the moment.
Well, we just wanted to stop them. They were looking at each other's phones as you walked out. Darren had his phone. He was like, look at this. Let me just ask, they're all from southern Indiana. First total eclipse that they've ever experienced. What goes through your mind when you think what just happened?
It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. We wasn't going to miss it, and I've just never seen anything like it before. I mean, it was neat.
Yeah. And what about you? Did you think it lived up to the expectation and all the talk?
I loved it. Thank God for everything.
Yeah.
Thank God for you guys, too.
Yeah, I really did. It was the first time I ever seen a full eclipse, and yes, I loved every minute of it.
Well, you know, the weather worked out perfect for us here. We didn't have to worry about the clouds. I know even in the partial eclipse down south, they have cloudy skies. But what'd you think?
I thought it was a great experience, and we didn't have to drive far either. This is right here in Seymour.
Well, and you guys have had the festival going on through the weekend. They've really been building this up. We're out here with thousands of people, and you were one of those thousands that had a chance to look up and experience the total solar eclipse. So what was going through your mind when you saw it?
Oh, I loved it, especially when it started cooling off, when it started getting the total eclipse. It was unique. It was something you'll never experience.
Yeah, you know, certainly probably not in the rest of our lifetime, Brian. They're right. We won't see another one.
Yeah, unless we want to travel to Montana in 2044, which I'm sure I'm going to be busy. Who knows at that point.
Well, and that's an interesting point on that one, because that's the next total solar eclipse, but it's only a very short-lived eclipse.
Exactly. In the United States, you have to wait until 2045, just a year later, 2045, and it'll be in drivable distance. Alina right now is down into the Louisville Science Center right now. Alina, what was it like there in the atmosphere off of Main Street?
Oh my gosh, Brian, it was incredible. It got really dim. Honestly, you would have thought we had a partial eclipse, but or a full eclipse. So we had a partial eclipse here. It was really dim, really eerie feeling. And this sidewalk just a few minutes ago was crowded with people all watching the eclipse from here in downtown Louisville. And one of those people here is Parker. Now, Parker is a science enthusiast, a space enthusiast. We caught up with him earlier. This is his first one to go to. Parker, how did it feel? What was your reaction to it?
It was really cool, actually. Like, I put on the glasses, I look up there, and it looked like it was just a crescent sun or something like that. It got cold and dark for a second. It was really, like, weird.
Yeah, I mean, was it what you expected it to be?
No, not really. I did not expect it to be like that.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
Yeah, did it last as long as you wanted it to?
Not really. But it was really cool.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Parker. Parker actually had one of the best seats in the house. We'll show you guys later tonight. He and a couple other people had laid out on the sidewalk here, just reclined back, looking up for 3 or 4 minutes straight. So great view. We're going to go over here to Darian now. Darian also had a great view of this eclipse. Tell me, how did it feel? What was your reaction?
It was super cool. It got smaller by the second to me. It was really cool because I've only seen like 4 eclipses in my life.
4 eclipses. That's more than most people. Where have you seen them before?
I've seen them in like different places in Kentucky.
Okay, very cool. So this is, something that you like to come and do?
Yeah, I really love to see eclipses because they just amaze me every time, and they're really cool to see.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Darian. Look, guys, we still have more activities going on here, too, at the Kentucky Science Center. They're going to actually have activities until about 4:30 p.m. tonight. We have them still looking at reflections over here and the against a whiteboard, and there's more going on inside. People can make pinhole cameras. They can shoot rocket launches. We'll be doing that in a little bit. But, yeah, it was a really cool experience here in downtown Louisville, and I think, they say you got to be there in the path of totality, the 100%, but I think it was pretty cool for people here in Louisville only getting that partial eclipse as well.
You're exactly right, Elaine. I appreciate that live there at the Louisville Science Center, which it's starting to remind me a bit like Thunder over Louisville, Kevin, where after the fireworks, everyone gets in the car and leaves. But we're still in an eclipse right now until 4:22. So
I think they were only interested in the totality.
They just wanted the totality part of it all.
They sort of trickled in, and then they're all like, boom, mad dash to get out.
Right. Yeah. We're still waiting on the numbers on the temperature drop here in Seymour. We do know in Louisville, at the National Weather Service there off Smyrna Parkway, dropped 6 degrees during the totality, near path, I shouldn't say totality, but near max eclipse at the National Weather Service. And in Louisville at Ollie International was a 3-degree drop. I think it was 6 to maybe 9, something like that here, if not even a touch more.
Sharp drop. And we're starting to see that temperature climb. We can feel that, but still nowhere where we were earlier. You can see a lot of folks sort of making their exit. We're here with a lot of food trucks. Coloring My Town behind us with coloring books. We have a lot of folks that are just picnicking and going to hang here for several more hours so that the traffic can sort of ease just a bit. That may not be such a problem in Louisville, but if you're high atop Iroquois Park, it may take a little bit to get down. Let's go to David Mattingly, who's at one of Louisville's highest points.
Kevin, keeping an eye on the moon's path here. It is already past the totality mark, or the most coverage that we would see here. And soon after that, we had a pretty decent crowd up here in Iroquois Park. But as soon as the peak of it happened, everybody started walking back to their cars, apparently planning to get back home to watch this on the news possibly later tonight. We still got a good group of people out here. We still have some of the moon still covering the sun out here. It still feels different, still looks different, but still just a lot of fun out here. And Jesse Hendricks with the Olmsted Conservancy, Parks Conservancy, this was your party. You called it Total Eclipse of the Park.
Yeah.
And for a few moments there, it was really magical here.
We had a great view up here at the North Overlook. Olmsted Parks Conservancy and Louisville Parks and Recreation wanted people to have the best view possible in Louisville, so we had eclipse glasses for everyone, and I think everyone had a really great time.
And talk about the best view. That's a good view of the city from up here on any day just about. But when we came to the peak coverage, the peak of the darkness here, it looked like there were like big thunderstorms on the horizon. It was just that dark back there, back behind the city. And we had that eerie light on us at the time, and people up here were just talking and chatting, having the best time together. It was a true Louisville moment in that regard.
It was fantastic. I don't think anyone truly knew what to expect because this only comes around once in a while, but we had the great view of the eclipse, and also, like you said, in the background here, it almost looked like a thunderstorm or something rolling in, or like dusk or something. It was magical.
All those unexpected things. If you've never experienced an eclipse like that, you really don't know until you see it. And now it's going to be hard to describe to our kids and grandkids after that.
Oh, for sure. I have my daughter here. She had a great time. And I think it was just one of those Louisville moments where everybody enjoyed being in the park together. And fortunately, we had the perfect weather for it.
And you were also making sure everybody had a good time. The Conservancy was passing out these bags of treats to people. You got to see what's inside. First of all, sun chips and moon pies. How appropriate.
We love a theme.
Well, I think it really hit the spot out here in more ways than one.
Yeah, we're so glad that everybody was able to come out and enjoy what may be a sort of once-in-a-lifetime experience for a lot of people.
Louisvillians hanging out with other Louisvillians and all experiencing the eclipse together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was great. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to send it back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you very much. Nice to see the views from Louisville, the Science Center, Iroquois Park, Scottsburg, French Lick. We've got you covered. It's been fun to see everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got you typing on there. I love that. It was funny. There's a bit of delay here.
Taking some notes.
I was interested in the sun chips. That's what I wanted from David right now.
Yeah, the moon pie sounds good.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, Shannon Cogan is live right now into French Lick. She's been at the resort since Sunday. And Shannon, I could tell that your reaction, because you didn't get a chance to experience 2017. So I love hearing when people are experiencing this for the very first time. So take us back to what it was like as we crossed that 304 to 305 window.
Yeah, it was pretty remarkable, and it happened so quickly. One person said to me it was like someone just flicked off the light switch and then they decided to flip it back on after a little bit. And one man told me, I don't have the vocabulary to explain what I am feeling right now. But I have these twins, Addie and Cowan here. They saw the eclipse in 2017, but they're older now, of course. So tell me, what did you said it went by way too fast.
I thought it was. I thought it was said there was 3 minutes, but like how beautiful it was, I got so sidetracked that it felt like it went by like a breeze.
Yeah, it really did. And by the way, great job on this shirt that you made right here. I love it. Beautiful. And Addie, what did you think about this year's?
I thought it was so much better because of how much brighter it was and how I could actually like look at it and know how it was and how it works, and now it won't happen for a very long time.
I know, yeah. 2044 would be the next time in the U.S. that you could see one. Well, thank you, guys. Have a safe drive back to Chicago. And let's going to talk over here to Chris and Tina. Okay, you said that when it first appeared, you went, oh!
Yeah, it was definitely like that. You kind of game out, like, in your little human mind how it's going to be, and then you take the glasses off, and it's just like, whoa. It's like, yeah, like you said, there's not words that can really...
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. It was a really nice experience, and the skies were perfect and clear, and the weather's just great for this. It was amazing.
360-degree sunset. I mean, that was beautiful.
Absolutely. It's fantastic.
I know, and I was trying to take pictures with my camera, but it doesn't do it justice, does it?
We tried for a second, and it's just like, let's just experience it. So, yeah, awesome.
Enjoy it. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. So they're going to keep the party going here until about 5 o'clock. There were 2 other viewing areas here also at this beautiful resort. But this was a great place to watch it because we're so high, as I mentioned, the second highest spot in the state of Indiana. But thrilling day here for sure. Back to you guys.
All right, Shannon, thank you. Again, I agree with what you said, Brian. I love seeing and hearing what it's like for those people for the first time. I remember in 2017, I mean, it was just like, wow.
And I remember, so many people afterwards, too. I remember all the traffic issues that developed. So we're going to be talking more about that as we head through the rest of this afternoon. Right now, we are still coming out of the partial eclipse side of things, and we still got, we got some time here before we get to about another 50 minutes before we actually get out of the complete eclipse altogether into a wave country. I'm not sure if we're able to show the temperature map real quick. I just wanted to show you guys the numbers there into, that's going to take us into Madison, Indiana. They're at 68 degrees. We're bouncing back. We're going to get this up here in just a second. I'm throwing them on for a loop there. 72 degrees into Seymour, and they've got 78 degrees into Salem. Kevin, that drop, by the looks of this map, I got a feeling we probably dropped about 66, something like that, and we were likely about 77.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sharp 10-degree drop, I would say for sure, maybe even more than that. It was so noticeable, and you can see that from Salem to Madison. Some of these only getting hourly readings, others getting more frequent updates. But if you were under full sun, it was hot out here, and boy, as soon as that eclipse started taking place, you noticed the drastic cool down. Some folks still hanging out behind us. You can see some of the kids throwing frisbees and just enjoying the day. They've packed a picnic and they've come out here for the day saying, we're going to let the traffic thin out a bit and then we'll head out. And we'll be showing you what that traffic's like. We've got the storm tracker that's back on the road with Brandon Spencer and the crew, so we'll be checking in with them. Of course, we've got Shannon Cogan. She is in French Lick. We've got you covered from downtown Louisville at the Science Center in Iroquois Park. You've been watching the Great American Eclipse on Wave.
We're back in just 3 minutes. Stay with us. All right, we are back. It is now 37 minutes after the hour on this April the 8th. And here is a time lapse of the crowd here into Seymour. You can see everyone gathered there. You'll be able to see, of course, the sunny skies and watch as we get into the main totality. You can see everything just getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. In a second, you're going to see that 360 sunrise that takes place right about here. And you'll get, there's the sunrise again all around the horizon, and it is dark. Temperature dropped a good 10 degrees, lasted for a little over 3 minutes and about 7 seconds, and then we came out of it, and the ground, everything lit back up again. Temperatures quickly started to rise across the area, and now we're back into the 70s as we're now coming out on the other side of this total solar eclipse, Kevin.
Yeah, that's the time lapse, and there you see us coming back out of it. That's what it looked like from the ground. Of course, looking at it from the sky, you saw the sun get eclipsed, and then we noticed the Bailey's beads. We saw the diamond ring. We had most of the features minus the shadow bands that we missed that you would see during the total eclipse.
The diamond ring, I think, really stood out. That's a crowd favorite, and it really just looks like a diamond. And it's one of the things that you described. It looks just like it, so that was really remarkable to see that.
And I think another thing that stood out this time compared to 2017 happened to be being at a solar maximum. We did see the activity around the corona.
I do not remember that at all in 2017 at all. And again, we really didn't have, I mean, technology's even come a far way since then, but we're able to see that, especially on the southern side of the image of the eclipse. We're able to see that. It'd be interesting to play that back and see that again, because it happened and we're like, wait a minute, look at that. I mean, that was pretty wild to see. So pretty wild stuff. All right, Sean Bowdy is still with us down I-65 as you head toward Scottsburg and Scott County. Sean, okay, you've had a lot of folks getting creative on viewing the eclipse. Now, is it like it is here in Jackson County? Is everyone leaving, or are you getting some folks who are just kind of just enjoying the moment and trying to wait things out?
Hey, Brian, there's a few people here that have kind of decided to stick around and make sure that moon has totally passed across the sun before they go. But this being a City of Scottsburg event, the city was pretty adamant that once this thing's done, we're getting people out of here because, you know, me being an extremely competitive person, too, I'd like to say that the place that I'm standing is the most efficient at getting people in and out of here. So, I mean, I don't know how they're doing it up in Seymour, but they've been pretty good over here about getting people in and getting them out of here. And one of the people responsible for that is Mayor Terry Amick, Mayor of Scottsburg. Tell me about this event. You not only this production that you guys put on to have all these people, but you were just talking to me a moment ago about just what it was like being here for that.
I tell you what, I have never seen a totality. You know, we've seen eclipses, but we have never seen a totality. It is just absolutely amazing, and it's just fantastic.
The amount of people that were able to come here and do this all in one place and do it in Scottsburg, got to be a moment of pride for you, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I walked through, and I had people here from New Jersey, from Florida, from Nashville, Tennessee, from Memphis, just all over Wisconsin, you know, Minnesota. So, I mean, we had a lot of folks here. And you look, I mean, it's almost, you know, we're going out now. So, yeah, it's been a great.
And not to harp too much on what I was saying before to Brian and Kevin, but this seemed like the perfect place to come for someone like us coming from Louisville to come up here, one of the first places that was in totality.
Did it take you a minute to get here out of I-65?
Well, we left pretty early, so we didn't have too much of an issue. It took us like 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, once you get off I-65, about a minute or so.
Oh, yeah.
To get here. I mean, and the cars are going out right now, and I-65 just flowing great.
You can see that from like right here.
Yeah, it's just been a great spot for folks to come and see. And we had plenty of room for everybody, and it was just fantastic.
Well, I appreciate you having us up here, and I appreciate what seemed like a success for you guys.
It really was.
Yeah,
it was great. Great for Scott.
It's been a lot of fun. You see all the people still hanging out here, and it looked like you were just out here hanging up to you. Looked like you were out here just cleaning up a little bit too.
Yeah, I wanted to shake hands with people, just walk through and just see everybody. It's just been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Terry, take it easy.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, we are in Scottsburg, and we'll be here for a little bit longer, just taking it all in. Brian, Kevin, back to you guys.
All right, Sean, thanks. Yeah. You know, Sean is competitive. Last year at Derby time, we were having a little axe throwing contest. I lost, had to buy the ice cream. Today, I'm not sure what kind of competition he's been in, but I did see he's got mooned and blacked out right there in Scottsburg.
Yeah, exactly. That seems about right. And we saw that actually written on a car coming up. I got a sort of picture of it. I was trying to get it on social media, but we saw that on the way up. I'm like, well, it's going to be one of those days.
Yeah, and here we are.
Exactly.
We're working our way out of the partial eclipse. We're actually still in the Eclipse. It doesn't seem like it because so many folks have already departed, but they came for the big show, which right here across southern Indiana was Totality. You can see by looking at the view from the screen there here in Seymour that we're still probably, maybe 20% eclipsed?
About that, yeah. And we got until about 4:22 officially until we're out of it. But now it's right around portions of, say, Niagara Falls. They're dealing with the Totality. And then it's off of the coast of Nova Scotia, and that's it. That's all she wrote.
You know, there were some really hot spots that people were trying to get to. One, in some of the airlines selling the tickets. That was one place. But on the ground, Niagara Falls, Indianapolis, Bloomington were huge
Texas
places.
Was a big, but clouds were really prevalent into, especially I had a lot of folks in Tyler, Texas. A lot of clouds were in that area, so that was kind of a bummer there. But for Indiana, all the way through Ohio, it was remarkable.
Yeah, you know, Louisville has a rich history if you think back many, many years to eclipses.
Especially the pro baseball team, the total eclipses. Alina Noakes has more on that.
Before the Louisville Bats played here at Slugger Field, Louisville's first ever professional team played in the West End at Eclipse Park with a team by the same name. In light of the 2024 total solar eclipse, I began to wonder what was the origin story behind the first ever professional baseball team. Here's what I found out. The most well-known association of the Eclipse and Louisville baseball is the professional team that entered the American League of 1882, but the history goes even further back. 1858 was the year baseball really put in its roots in Louisville with two amateur teams, the Louisville Club and the Louisville Eclipse Club. The Eclipse Club would be the predecessor to the 1880 Eclipse semi-professional team, which played at Eclipse Park in the West End. In 1882, the first professional team by the same name joined the American League, officially bringing Louisville into the world of Major League Baseball.
The Major League Louisville Eclipse team played from 1882 to 1884, and then after 1884, they renamed to the Louisville Colonels.
The Eclipse's stint in professional baseball was short-lived, but its impact was undeniable. Still, there is very little history on where the team got such a unique name. That's where one can find the root of several theories, including one that suits Louisville very well.
So there is one theory, one thread that myself and some other sports writers kind of think is the origin or the inspiration, and it's from a racehorse called the Eclipse, and that bloodline is still in thoroughbred horses today. So I think carrying on that tradition of excellence and trying to live up to that excellence is a great idea.
Another theory is that the total solar eclipse of 1869, which had Louisville in the path of totality, made a big enough impact to inspire the namesake. It's a bit of a stretch, but still fun to theorize at a time when Kentucky is at the center of another total eclipse on April 8th. And on that day, Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory is taking the time to celebrate both moments in history.
We are always Eclipse crazy here at the museum, and obviously Louisville Slugger has quite the tie to the Eclipse, with the iconic name being named after Pete Browning, who played for the Louisville Eclipse, and lo and behold, his nickname, of course, was the Louisville Slugger.
To commemorate that, the museum has made special Eclipse bats that glow in the dark. To make it even more special, the museum will also be marking another pivotal moment in baseball history on the same day, when Hank Aaron eclipsed Babe Ruth's home run record 50 years ago. At Slugger Field, Alina Noakes, Wave News.
All right, thanks, Elaine. Appreciate that. I didn't know that. She has taught me something new about our history there into Louisville.
You know, the big question now that we're coming back out of the partial eclipse on the backside of totality is, what are the roads like? And that is going to be a question. Anybody that went to the eclipse of 2017 knows that getting out of there was a nightmare from Western Kentucky.
Yeah, it was a unique setup because it was the max point of the eclipse, where Hopkinsville, Kentucky, of the entire Earth was there. So there were a lot of extra people there, but it did take Kevin and myself about 10 hours to get back to Louisville for just a 3-hour drive in West Kentucky. So let's check in with Brandon Spencer.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey guys, yeah, so we actually just hit traffic. We just left the Freeman Field not too long ago. And it's funny because we were following our GPS trying to get back to the main roads. And it seems like our GPS was even acting wonky. We weren't the only ones. We did a U-turn when we realized we were going the wrong way. And right after we turned around, we saw at least half a dozen more cars following us, going the wrong way. So people are still trying to figure their way out. I'm gonna flip the camera so you can see we are bumper to bumper. We've probably been in this exact spot probably for about 30 seconds to a minute, but it hasn't moved. We are still waiting to get to this next stop sign, it looks like, that's up ahead, but there are at least 20 to 25 cars that are ahead of us. And as we were driving around, we were told that, our GPS told us, that we were gonna be delayed about 25 minutes already since we already hit the road, and we left probably about 5 minutes ago. Right now, you're taking a look at the cars that are behind us. And you can see that line is starting to build up and traffic is going to be pretty rough, looking like getting out of here. As you mentioned, Brian, Kevin, that this was similar to 2017, but no, flip the camera again in front of us. There are several cars in front of us right now. We're waiting to move. We haven't moved since, I've been on screen with you guys right now, but we are going to be giving you guys updates as, traffic develops or as it stalls. But for right now, Kevin, Brian, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Okay, thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it. Brandon Spencer live in the Storm Tracker. We're going to see Brandon several times as he ventures out because I'm curious to see what it will be like on I-65. As we took 31 for a while because there was a crash on 65. When we were on 31, we saw several yards that had been roped off charging $50 to come and park if you want to spectate. It reminded me of Derby a lot.
And, one thing, talking about the things that we've seen since we've been here in Seymour and on our drive here, when we were entering Totality, I pointed to the horizon. There were fireworks going off.
Yes.
Do you notice that?
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just wild what you could see around the sights and sounds. Most people were very quiet. A lot of times when you get into that Totality, people tell you, just observe what's around you. Listen to the birds, listen to the bugs and the animals. Now, of course, we're out here with a bunch of people. We were watching the people, but I didn't notice so much about birds or bugs or animals.
No, I didn't. There's been studies that were done in 2017, especially at the Nashville Zoo, but in Louisville, they really didn't record anything too unusual, but it was only at 96%. This year, likely unlikely to have anything as far as a reaction from animals as well. It seems like you have to be in totality to really notice a difference, but we are not in a good spot to notice anything with the animals or the birds because we're in the middle of an open field at the airport right now. So, but it'd be interesting to see what happens from this the study of today about that.
Well, and I'll be curious to go back. Seymour has been planning for this for about 14 months, where they had a big festival downtown. They've had a number of presentations about the eclipse. They were prepared for about 80,000 people in Jackson County. Yeah. And I know they were thinking that maybe out here at the Freeman Airfield that there would be around 10 to 15,000 people. I think we probably fell a little short of that, but there were thousands of people here by my estimate.
Yeah, exactly. And again, the parking was kind of stretched out on different sides where we were at. But I think the traffic is going to really tell the story of how many people ventured out because everyone arrived at different times, stayed in hotels, stayed hanging out for festivals, and now everyone's exiting at one time. That is where it's going to be crucial. And we're going to show you more of those live images across Wave Country coming up on the other side of the break.
Well, that's exactly right. You're watching continuing coverage as we work our way out of the partial eclipse on the other side of Totality right here on Wave, coming to you from Seymour, Indiana. We'll be back with more after this. Say again?
Straight live.
Straight live. Well, who's walking us through?
Hey, everybody. All right, we're going to check back in with Shannon, right? Shannon Koga, who's over there at the French Lick Resort, which she was out there having a chance to view all the different families. She's got her own family up there in Orange County.
Yeah, she went up there and made a weekend out of it. She may not come back anytime soon. If you've been in French Lick, you know how beautiful it is. And Shannon, let's just hear the final thoughts from you.
What an experience. I'm so glad I had a chance. And you know what's interesting? I've been speaking to people who saw the 2017 eclipse also and how they would compare it to this year's. Chad is over here. Look at his equipment. How'd the pictures turn out, Chad?
Very good. I'm very happy with them.
Oh, I can't wait to see. Okay, so you saw 2017. Tell me about some of the differences you noticed this year.
It seemed like it got darker earlier. Before, it was kind of light until that point of total totality. But this time it seemed like it got darker and more like would be like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And then the skies cleared off and the wind started picking up a little bit also.
I noticed that as well, yeah. So what's your next plan now?
Take them home and kind of do some after imaging on them.
Gotcha. A little bit of editing, I guess, huh? Okay. Let's talk to you guys. So you came here for this. This is your second time. Anything different that you noticed? And by the way, look at how cute this necklace is.
I made this. I do fused glass.
Well, and it's perfect for the Eclipse.
And so it's actually made with some glass powder that will glow in the dark when it gets dark. And I made it after the 2017 Eclipse last year.
Well, so you found it is so meaningful. How would you compare the two eclipses now that you have seen?
So again, like what Chad said, was it seemed like it was much, much darker. It was fun because our last eclipse, we were kind of more remote and not as much people. This was fun with a lot of people.
Wow, yeah.
And it's to me, it's a very emotional experience. I don't know why it makes me want to cry.
I've heard so many people say that. Thank you so much. Good to see you. And yeah, we have a lot of people just out here hanging out, relaxing, taking it in. It is a beautiful, perfect afternoon right now. But guys,
it seems like a dream right now, like it didn't happen, you know, because we just went right back to sun and not many people showing up now. Everyone's leaving.
Yeah, from dream to nightmare if you're in the traffic. Let's go to Brandon Spencer, who's in the storm tracker. Have you moved yet, Brandon?
Yeah, we've moved quite a bit, actually. I'd probably say half a mile since you guys last saw me, but you know, traffic is bumper to bumper right now. I'm gonna flip the camera so you guys can see, but we are entering a roundabout here by Seymour. You can see the lines of trucks getting directed by, it looks like a couple of police officers up in front of us, but also, if we look to, actually I'm going to turn the other camera on so you can see the line behind us, but if I turn the camera, you might be able to see also the direction in which we're going to be going in, and you can actually see that traffic is a little clear to the right as we're about to approach over there. But as soon as we get in this roundabout, we should be able to, get into more clearer traffic, or less traffic, I guess I should say. But you can see the police straight ahead. They're guiding us around. There's other people coming through the roundabout straight ahead. But right now we are, making our way. 65s, I think we're going to see the bulk of the traffic, and you can see the bulk of, what the headache that a lot of people are going to be facing leaving here. But for now, until we get to that point, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, well, that's going to be a crucial setup here. We're already seeing reports now, some of the traffic backing up there on portions there of I-65 around the exit there into Seymour.
Yeah, the Beatles are out here in full force, too.
Got Beatles on you.
Yeah, like the little,
the Beetle beads. Yeah, the Beetle beads. The Beetle beads.
You know, we had a chance to experience it, to bring it home to you over the last 2 hours. It was our nonstop coverage of the Great American Eclipse. We had you covered from Louisville, where so many people were watching from the Science Center, as well as Iroquois Park, folks on Waterfront Park as well. And then, of course, if you could make your way into totality, like Sean Bowdy, Shannon Cogan, Brian, and myself, we really witnessed something that most people only witness once in a lifetime.
And I hope that we have that opportunity again, and we will in 21 years. So mark it for your road trip as you head down to the Deep South for 2045. But we got more to recap when it comes to the setup with traffic and the after effects and the leftovers of the eclipse. It's still ongoing for another 20 minutes. All that and more coming up on Wave News at 4 o'clock, which is up right after the break.